Numbers chapter 6. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Israel, and say unto them, When either a man or woman shall separate themselves to vow a vow of a Nazarite, to separate themselves unto the Lord, he shall separate himself from wine and strong drink, and shall drink no vinegar or wine, or vinegar of strong drink, neither shall he drink any liquor of grapes, nor eat moist grapes or dried. And the days of his separation shall he eat nothing that is made of the vine tree, from the kernels even to the husk. And all the days of the vow of his separation there shall no razor come upon his head until the days be fulfilled, in the which he separateth himself unto the Lord. He shall be holy, and he shall let the locks of the hair of his head grow. All the days that he separateth himself unto the Lord, he shall come at no dead body. He shall not make himself unclean for his father, or for his mother, for his brother, or for his sister when they die, because the consecration of the Lord is upon his head. All the days of his separation he is holy unto the Lord. And if any man die very suddenly by him, and he hath defiled the head of his consecration, then he shall shave his head in the day of his cleansing. In the 7th day shall he shave it. And the 8th day he shall bring 2 turtles, or 2 young pigeons, to the priest, to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall offer the one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering, and make an atonement for him, for that he sinned by the dead, and shall hallow his head that same day. And he shall consecrate unto the Lord the days of his separation, and shall bring a lamb of the first year for a trespass offering. But the days that were before shall be lost, because his separation was defiled. And this is the law of the Nazarite, when the days of his separation are fulfilled. He shall be brought unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and he shall offer his offering unto the Lord, 1 he-lamb of the first year without blemish for a burnt offering, and 1 ewe-lamb of the first year without blemish for a sin offering, and 1 ram without blemish for peace offerings, and a basket of unleavened bread, cakes of fine flour mingled with oil, and wafers of unleavened bread anointed with oil, and their meat offerings and their drink offerings. And the priest shall bring them before the Lord, and shall offer his sin offering and his burnt offering. And he shall offer the ram for a sacrifice of peace offerings unto the Lord, with the basket of unleavened bread. The priest shall offer also his meat offering and his drink offering. And the Nazarite shall shave the head of his separation at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall take the hair of the head of his separation, and put it in the fire which is under the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall take the sodden shoulder of the ram, and 1 unleavened cake out of the basket, and 1 unleavened wafer, and shall put them upon the hands of the Nazarite after the hair of his separation is shaven. And the priest shall wave them for a wave offering before the Lord. This is holy for the priest, with the wave breast and heave shoulder, and after that the Nazarite may drink wine. This is the law of the Nazarite who has vowed, and of his offering unto the Lord for his separation, beside that his hand shall get, according to the vow which he vowed, so he must do after the law of separation. The Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and unto his sons, saying, On this wise ye shall bless the children of Israel, saying unto them, The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee, and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee, and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. There are opportunities for men and women to voluntarily consecrate themselves, their service unto God. And they do that here, we see, as taking upon them voluntarily the vows and becoming what is called a Nazarite. Now, the term Nazarite comes from the Hebrew word nazir, which means consecrated. And both men and women could do it, although I don't think we have any examples of women who are Nazarites. We have several men who are. We have Samson, he is one. We have Samuel, who was consecrated by his mother. And then we have John the Baptist. And all 3 of these were pretty much lifetime commitments. Most of the time, the commitment to be a Nazarite would be somewhere between 30 days, which was considered the minimum, and usually could be up to a couple of years. But it was usually a short, specified period of time. It was a voluntary vow, and the Nazarite would be doing things that were considered of service to God as a voluntary effort. And they did not have the right to take over the roles of the priests or the Levites or anybody else, but they would be doing things that were considered consecrated to God. Now, there were three basic elements to this that they had. The first one was and two of them were related, but you might not understand how. They would eat nothing of the grape. Absolutely nothing to do with, not raisins, not grapes. They wouldn't drink wine. They wouldn't have vinegar from wine. Anything to do with grapes was totally out. And number two, they wouldn't cut their hair. And the last thing was that they would have nothing to do with dead bodies, not even their father, their mother, their brother, their sister. Now the first two, the not drinking wine and the not cutting their hair, are probably related because the area in the Middle East was a very good area, apparently, for growing grapes and making lots of wine. And it was very highly favored, anywhere from Egypt all the way through to Babylonia. But there was a cult called the cult of Bacchus, the god of wine. And the people who were part of this cult trimmed their hair in a specific way. And that showed that they were a part of this cult, and other people looking at them could see that they were. And one of the reasons I suspect for having this particular thing of not cutting their hair was to show specifically, not only were they not eating grapes or anything to do with grapes, they weren't even cutting their hair as to show people that they were part of some cult or whatever. They were getting as far away from that as possible, and that was what Heavenly Father wanted. He wanted people who were as far away from being totally worldly as possible so that he could have a holy people. And that's what the Nazarites were. So remember, Nazarite does not come from Nazarene, and meaning Jesus. It came from Nazir, which means dedicated, consecrated.